I don't like starting YouTube videos because it feels like I need to have an introduction, but in reality, it's just me continuing a conversation that I've already started. So I hate when I say so in videos as well, but I wanted to continue to show up on YouTube, and I don't want to have a conversation about that. I just want to do it, show up, not necessarily have a conversation about it, because that's where the disconnect happens, where I am talking about what I'm going to do instead of doing what I want to do. So in order to come back onto YouTube, I felt that I wanted to just talk about me, like give you an about me in video form, so that we can reconnect and I can express why I have some interests that I do. It's been a period of time for me to have a lot of deep reflection, and with that I have realized that some of the reasons why I have the values that I do is because of the way that I was raised. So I just kind of wrote down some things that are like pivotal moments in my life, to kind of give you guys a little bit more background on who I am as a person. I've also found that in the last year, this has been the case for everyone, everyone's relationships have gone digital. And I got really excited to get back into YouTube once we moved out to Austin, because I knew that my relationships were going to become digital. I follow a lot of YouTubers that have a relationship with their viewers it's more vulnerable, and it is a safe space. And so I wanted to create that in my community as well, and specifically around sustainability. So what I've learned in my reflections is that just moving towards a more sustainable, slow pace of life has always been very attractive to me. So I wanted to continue to bring a lot of value to that part of my life, and then in turn share it with others. I think I need to take a drink of water. So our podcast, Planted and Growing, my co-host Grace and I have just recorded a new episode for Earth Day, and I'll have that linked below. And so I was just feeling a little bit more in a talkative mood, been wanting to film this video for a while, and figured let's do it. I didn't want this to be too long-winded, so I will start. My name is Christina, and I was born in '89 in Orange, California, and grew up in Orange County, California. And it's been really interesting to be born in '89, because then all of these decades that go, like the 90s and after the 90s, the aughts, like my decades align with the decades of our timeline on Earth. So a 90s child, and did a lot of the 2000 things in my teenage years. And so I grew up as a tomboy. I played a lot of sports growing up, and just as an adult, I have realized how much sports have really formed my the way that I present myself in the world. Just there's a lot of learning lessons in regards to having more confidence in myself, I guess, or I just assumed some leadership roles on sporting teams, so I feel that that has really helped me in adulthood. So I think that if a child is interested in sports, there's so much value in letting them pursue that. But yeah, I had a pretty standard Orange County upbringing. Was interested in going to Disneyland, watched the ska band Suburban Legends on a very regular basis, would go to the beach a lot, and then also I grew up specifically in Santa Ana. So Santa Ana has a demographic of more of a Latin community. So it is more in like the 80s to 90s percentage of the Latin community. So I was pretty much a one of the only white persons in my schools. I was very much a sore thumb in in my upbringing because I am also 6 feet tall and have been tall my entire life. So that is a part of my upbringing as well, where I was not like everybody else, but I, with that, have learned the value of diversity and how I very much prefer a diverse existence and planet, because it just brings about so much more the importance of culture and how it can influence how you how you present yourself in the world, and not suppressing your culture and giving more light to it. So that was a very valuable upbringing lesson. And then I also am with my high school sweetheart. So Keith and I started dating at the end of our sophomore year in high school. I've thought about having an entire video dedicated to our origin story because it is it's cute. And so it's like too cute where I'm like, So we have been together since 2007. And no, 2005. Graduated high school in 2007. So yeah, that's also let us know if you're interested in learning more about our relationship. But it's definitely been a ride, and we love each other so much. So grateful for that, and obviously that has an influence in my life, having a partner for let's do the math. What year is this? For 16 years. And we also have our beloved Timber, Siberian Husky German Shepherd, our puppy. But yeah, I'm almost at the end of my little list of things. But in college, I played volleyball. So I went to a community college, played volleyball there, and also played volleyball at a private university. And yeah, when I was working on getting my bachelor's, I thought I wanted to study fashion, and so my mentor told me that I should get into blogging. So I started doing that at blogspot.citylove.com. And then, I went away from it. I came back to it because Keith and I went backpacking through Europe for 3 months. And as a vegan person, I decided that I wanted to document our travels, and then document the vegan food that we found. And so yeah, vegan travel is very important to me, and sustainability is very important to me. And I think that that's kind of just where things have unraveled over the last 10 years or so, is that when I learn something that I think has value and I want to share it with others, that pull is always going to be there. So I just want to continue to talk more about a sustainable lifestyle, mindful, conscious lifestyle more often on the internet. Just enjoy that greatly. So if that interests you guys, then come along. I am going to work on being very consistent on this platform. And if not, we will give forgiveness, because I think that that's another thing that I appreciate about content creators sometimes, where it's like, sometimes people make content just to make content, and there's a lot of value in people who show up when they want to show up. So that was something that I learned at the end of Vlogmas, and so apologies for attempting to do Vlogmas again and failing, but I've been able to reflect on it. It does not very much feel like a fail. I am been learning a lot about energy exchange and just, you know, personal energy levels, energies around us, vibrations, and the internet is got a lot of vibrational energy. So we as humans can decide and be ones who decide whether or not you want to share your energy on the internet or not. So I think that's where I am, where I'm like, okay, well, I'm ready to show up, and here I am. But I'm not going to hold myself to this standard of needing to upload at a certain amount. We'll just go with the flow. So I'm going to end this one for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.